the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Hey, by the way,
welcome to the show.
welcome to the show, Sad Dads Club podcast, episode 185.
Yeah. I'm Jim.
185.
I'm Jim. We got,
I'm Lord Foo.
we got
And
Foo
we're
over there.
20,000 happy.
We so over the weekend we kind of hit a milestone. We don't usually talk about stats because our stats are not what drives us. I mean, we watch our stats and stuff, but we're not driven by our stats. We're excited to see what happens.
Right, because we're just plebes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, we're talking
we're
about the thing.
podcast morons.
Yeah, yes.
Right?
I would 100% support this.
And I'm a statistical, I love looking at stats.
I think it's clear that I am a data guy.
Yeah. And I like looking at the stats. And we hit over the weekend, we had a pretty impressive spike in our downloads over the weekend.
Right.
And we hit our 20,000 downloads of our show.
Right.
Which
Could
is
be
happy.
bot, and I accept this.
Yeah, it very well could just be Chinese bots or maybe the Russians.
Right.
I don't know.
No.
I mean,
I don't support Russian bots.
we thank you for that, I guess.
But I guess, hey.
Some guy couldn't get a lotta, but he
Yeah.
can download a bunch of our shows.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Hey, you've got all of them. Like 4 times, but whatever.
Yeah, it's cool.
Hey.
So, yeah, thank you. We appreciate anyone and everyone that listens to our show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, I mean, I wish I could say we do it for you.
Yeah. This is my therapy time, and you're all just fucking along for the ride. Hashtag, hey, Tony.
We'll probably get an email about that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just thought that was pretty cool. I figured it was worthy of a mention. I mean, we're just a couple dudes in a garage.
When you sent the stats over, I am perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, proud dad.
Yeah.
So I walked down the hall and I was like, hey, Piper, we have 20,000 downloads. And she was like, cool.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
She's like how many a day? And I went, don't know. But we got 20,000.
That daily number changes
Yeah.
drastically from day
Yeah.
one through today, for
Yeah,
sure.
Like, and then I look at the YouTube stuff and I'm like, one person watched last week's episode, and it was probably the run through that I do as part of QA. That I also, hey man, fucking no shame. I also like it because fucking why not?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm at least gonna get one.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. But I think up till Sunday there was just one view, and I went,
Sad dad.
well, usually I at least watch it again on not private mode, and I haven't even done that, so I haven't even given it the at least 2 pads. But we've got 20,000 of audio downloads, so fucking
Yeah,
Top.
and that's without Spotify.
yeah. Shit, fuck them guys.
Yeah, who needs Spotify?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, fuck that dude.
Oh shit. So yeah, I mean, a very, very much appreciative thank you
Yes.
from the sad dads here for sure.
Yeah, and even if you're just trying it out or you're a reoccurring, I'm impressed. Like, we're running with the pants off. Fucking whatever.
I mean, it's it's like I always say, everything's it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right?
Right. I'm
I
halfway
mean,
decent at those,
yeah.
I guess.
And we're of the opinion that we're gonna come here and talk with each other every
Right.
fucking week.
And, it's small world stuff, too.
Yeah.
Like, we ran into this when you play any sort of games, or certainly Ingress. We ran into, I think, going back 2 weeks, you and I roughly touched on it. You had like a Twitter DM conversation with another, I'm going to say young man, and if you're listening, what's up?
Big Nick on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
Who part of your, like, the retweet group, I want to say?
I'm not sure if he's,
I don't remember how
don't
you
even know if
found
he's-
each other.
I don't.
But local to us,
Yeah.
like literally a former high school student of the same high school that Piper goes to. So that small world type of small world, but he's, compared to us, young buck.
Yeah.
He was like, did you go to Wood Creek High School? And you and I are like, fuck, son, that thing was like tumbleweeds and star thistle when we were in high school. I assure you, we did not go to Wood Creek.
I don't even think that area where Wood Creek High School is right now existed when I went to high school.
Yeah. There was goats, and not the kind that are contained. It was just some random dude's pasture on like almost baseline. Nothing.
Right.
There was nothing out there when we were in high school. But it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
And he roughly sounded like he was interested in the stuff that we talk about. Made me feel old. So there's that. I like to listen to old guys talking to learn how to. I got kids. I'm like, well.
Oh, well.
Damn.
Another reason to be a sad dad.
Yeah, sad dad ensures the feels.
Yeah.
But small world stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. No regrets. It's awesome.
No regrets for that matter.
Yeah, none.
I mean, I might as well get a tattoo of that right now. So exciting stuff. We appreciate all the listens. If you listen, awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
I got something right off of tattoos. Are you ready?
Yeah, tattoo.
So my daughter asked me.
Are you talking about the guy on the TV show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nanu?
Yeah.
More from work. Oh, Robin Williams. Anyway.
Sad dad.
Sad dad. Robin Williams is the best. My daughter asked me in the kitchen just the other day. She's like, how old were you when you got your tattoo? And I said, drunk.
What the fuck?
I'm like, honestly, as soon as she floated the question, I couldn't roughly, and I just have like a standard, like a bicep armband.
Yeah.
If you're a 90s kid, you would recognize these as the go-to armband tattoos that were prevalent.
Right.
That's what I have. But I couldn't recall with 100% clarity how exactly old I was. I want to say 21, 22.
Well, that seems like a thing you should be remembering.
Probably. It was more about where I was.
Your first tattoo.
Yeah. It was more about the moment. Like I was in Cancun. I was drunk. I was with a bunch of...
You weren't even in the States when...
No. I was in Mexico and stupid and drunk. And that's the best kind of tattoos.
So that's... Now
but
we know...
Don't tell that to my kids.
Now we know how you got the herpes.
What? I'm clean. There are whistles that are jealous about how clean I am. And that's why you can be safe in the purchase of your bathwater.
Nice.
For $5,000.
I like how you worked that in.
I know. That was
brilliant. It's almost like we planned it.
My daughter wants to go to med school, man. I'm just trying to pay the fucking bills.
Right. Trust me, I'm well aware of this shit.
As soon as my stuff starts taking off, I'll show you the business model, and you start selling like taint water.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Just the dunk and sell.
Yeah. These are 2-nut dunk gym water bottles. I couldn't remember the rough age. Yeah. And then I'm like, 21, 22, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Roughly.
But drunk.
But and I think she knows the rest of that, like, the bulk of that story. And if not, it's a fun story. I'm sure Venus and I will tell. What's really funny is to look for the Senior Frogs photo that we have with the group that we're with. And it is, if ever there is a picture, like, show me a picture of a time when you were completely fucking drunk and you don't know what was going on.
Oh, damn.
This is that Senior Frogs picture of, like, just about everyone in our group. Hashtag Hey Grant. I don't think John listens, but Grant will know exactly what I'm talking about. We are all completely shit-faced. And paid way too much to do it, but American tourists in Mexico, and that's the way it is.
But, I mean, if you go to a tattoo parlor here in the U.S., if you're drunk, they won't give you a tattoo,
I'm pretty sure they don't. I think it's But
if you're in Mexico, it's like, sure.
You
want to ride around in the back of a pickup with no helmet or seatbelt? Sure.
Right. And even then, I'm sure it was like, I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly the protocols that happened. I mean, everything was sterile. For sure. That I remember. Everything was sterile. But, like, were there any, like, waivers, like, I am not intoxicated at the time? Maybe. And there isn't a fucking fuck to give about oh, well, maybe I should think twice about this. No, you're in Mexico. You're in the early 20s. You're hammered.
Everyone else is doing it.
The Suds party was awesome. You've got some random whore, not me, but someone. You may be, but not me.
Maybe the tattoo artist.
Yeah, maybe it could be the tattoo artist. She's
Right.
like, sucky, then tattoo, and
Right.
you're like,
Sure.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you knock
Is
off.
it all included in the price?
Yeah, is this inclusive, like my hotel?
Do I get breakfast too?
Yeah, because I'm kind of looking for this, but if you're going to this, then I throw that in there. I'm down. So, I kind of roughly gave her the age, and she was like, would you ever be interested in getting another one? And I, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that
You
kind of,
only have one tattoo?
I only have one. Just
Oh.
just the armband.
Oh, I thought you had like a lower back
Like a
one.
Trump. Well,
Tramp stamp.
I
or
was going to say
something.
tramp stamp, but I see someone walking in here. Hi, sweetheart.
Someone's nervous now.
What's up? Oh, okay. We're definitely recording. What would you call the tattoo on your lower back? A tattoo on her lower back.
That's what it is.
So, the would you ever get one kind of
Yeah.
lingered in the air.
Yeah.
I love you. Okay. Would you ever get another one ever
Yeah.
lingered in the air? And yes, and then it kind of just, it was like an awkward beat in the conversation as I'm like doing stuff in the kitchen. She goes, would you ever consider getting another one? Like, what would you get though?
A
And I went,
squishmallow.
Yeah. I'm like, that squish with the pudgy little nose that's like a pug? I want that right on my belly button. No. I said, I have two ideas. I actually would like steampunk, like mechanical wings,
Yeah.
like full back wings.
Like a big one?
Big. Like
Damn.
full length back.
Yeah.
Steampunk. Like cables and cogs and gears with
Mhm.
like wings. And then my second one would be like Hermes wings on my ankles.
Hermes wings?
Hermes, like the Greek
Oh, yeah.
sprint god, or Flash,
Yeah.
having little wings on just above my ankles that like wrap up my calves.
Okay.
Like those are things I've thought about and like put time into searching, but just kind of like the timing's never right, and finding a design that I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna die wrinkled and old with these things on me
Mhm.
and be happy with that design.
Yeah.
That's hard. Now I am way more conscious about the design. I'm like, I definitely want to put something else, permanently.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I have now become super retentive about the design, and so that's kind of like the push off, like the procrastination part.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say necessarily procrastination. I'm just being super meticulous about what I want.
Yeah.
And that's the hurdle.
That's funny that you had that conversation, because there was a conversation happening at our house. Like, because
Really?
my daughter was home for
Mhm.
her spring break, and that was a conversation for dinner the other night.
Really?
Yeah.
How bizarre.
Yeah. I don't have any tattoos. I don't really care to get any I don't
Yeah.
have anything
that's
important enough
fine.
to want to put on my body
That's fine.
permanently.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I were going to get one, it would probably be like Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's the only thing like I really like is Calvin. I think like the real Calvin, not the fucking guy pissing on a Ford badge or a Chevy badge or whatever.
Yeah.
Like actual Calvin and Hobbes kind of stuff. But there was a discussion with my daughter because she wants to get a squish tattoo.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well,
And then she was
hey.
trying to get my wife all involved, and my wife was sort of like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, really? Because she doesn't have any tattoos either.
Well, Shan to
That-
get a
Yeah.
squish tattoo?
Well, I don't know if it
Oh,
was
just
a squish,
something.
something. Yeah. But I was kind of like, really? Okay. That's new,
yeah.
you know?
I have here's a genre of tattoos that I could never really the words, like putting words. I love my kids, but I could never. And Ian has, I think, both Chloe and Ethan, his kids, on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Totally fine, but that's not. That just never like attracted me in any sort of way. Obviously, I love my family. I love my wife, but I would probably do that in a different way. Like if I was going to give me an idea of a tattoo that you would put on your body that would represent how important your family is, I would probably do like a tree that would somehow, with direct reference to the kids, but without it being like
super
obvious that their names are in it. Like a tree would be like
they could be
my name.
It could be an apple tree, and they could be one of the apples.
You know, but to like, and I had a really good friend growing up there in Grass Valley who put God, I'm probably gonna get it wrong, but I want to say he put a stanza of an Edgar Allan Poe poem on his side of his rib cage. Okay. And to him it was important, but like to me, if
like the raven or something.
Yeah, some objects and some designs just don't carry over well over time in a tattoo. And while I'm sure to put some sort of quote that's meaningful to you on your body is like, I support that, but 5 to 10 years down the road, I mean, I can tell even like my stuff is faded, and some of the sharp edges that were within the first 5 to 10 years are now
blurry.
They're blurry, and they're a little bit curved.
Yeah.
I can only imagine if you put something that was like a fucking Winston Churchill quote, or something super like a Sun Tzu thing or something.
Yeah.
And 20 years later, it looks like Latin when it was English to begin with. You're
right.
like, and now you're putting like a briar patch scene or something fucking shit on your rib cage or something.
Would you ever go get it re-inked?
My arm one?
Yeah.
No, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It's it's like one of those things. I accept it as it is, and as it fades and oblongs. It is what it is. Yeah. Plus, it's almost like a litmus, right? If I get too much sun or it starts to change color, warning, something's wrong with you. You're doing something wrong. It's an easy skin, and not that you should use that
as your
indicator for whether or not you need to.
Hey, you're sunburnt.
Visit a dermatologist or something.
Oh, God.
But if something starts to go sideways with the way, I wear cut-off sleeve shirts all the time. So generally, my arms will color if I've been doing something or spending too much time in the sun. So watching the tattoo is kind of like that's bad news. Random.
Interesting.
You shouldn't ever rely on that. You should always check with your dermatologist about your skin condition.
And at a minimum, put on some sunscreen.
And always wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
So is she going to get one?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm curious as to what squish, because does she have... She has
an idea of what she wants already,
or
I
just
guess.
like a plushy, comfy-looking word that says squish.
No.
Oh.
No, it was...
So it's an animal.
I believe it was an actual...
Squish
guy.
Product.
One of the... Yeah.
Wow.
Specifically.
As long as it's not in the tramp stamp area, because that... I mean, I didn't want to think about that just now, but I did, and now I've
about
made...
Millie's tramp.
Yeah, I've made a mistake. I've already made a mistake. I've said too much.
Oh, no, I don't know if, I mean, she's talked about it. She seems interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Shanna, surprisingly, was interested, kind of. But it's just not it doesn't, There's
it's
nothing.
one of those things.
Nothing about it appeals to me. I don't know. There's, like I said, there's really nothing that I would want permanently put on me, I think.
Yeah. And I was there for, Venus has it too. She has one that when Piper
We
asked
can't talk about.
Yeah. I want to say it was because she asked, and I couldn't. Again, I was fuzzy on the details. Venus has like one on her ankle that I think she got with her mom before she was with me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted, so teenager, and she may have been under 18. She'll correct me. I'm sure later that I fucked this up. Hashtag I still love you. But she spent the one that she has on her lower back, which is very respectful location. A very ornate, very well done sunflower.
Mm-hmm.
A set of 3 sunflowers, I want to say.
Colored and all that.
It's absolutely gorgeous. And the lady that did it was just out of Forest Hill. And I want to say, within maybe a year of Venus getting hers there, she was very well respected. Like, we went, to best of my knowledge, Venus had done her homework on who she wanted it done by. And this lady was top notch. Within a year of Venus getting hers, I think she retired from tattoos.
Oh, interesting.
So it is super well done. The lines, have you ever seen it?
Not that I would tell
the
you.
line sharp. Yeah. Yeah. When we were at the Dragons party playing Ka, your wife had to bend over and pick up some of my dip that I dropped on the floor. Let me just say something about them sunflowers. It's not just a Ukraine thing. Your wife's got that shit going on.
Oh, shit.
It's pretty. It's really well done, and the lady had an immense amount of talent. I was there for that one. Like, I held her hand. It, lower back is a very thin and a lot of nerves, so it put some tears in the eyes for sure. And it was one session. It was
really.
Oh man,
just one.
I want to say it was just one
with color and everything.
Yeah, and it was. It's superb. It's one of the best tattoos with sunflowers that I've ever seen. Not that I go browsing, but it's. I'm just saying, you see people with tattoos all over.
What are you saying?
Yeah, it's very well done. It's one of the best sunflower tattoos.
Yeah.
I have ever seen.
Maybe I'll get a pile of sunflower seeds.
Right, I'll take a picture and crop it out so you don't know that you're looking at the tramp stamp area.
There we go.
And I'll just say
we'll make that our new show logo.
Yeah. It's her upper back, fucker, and stop staring. Yeah. It's and I either of the kids, if they want to, obviously my lesson, and hashtag #ARAN, our lesson is that we were also, though, 21.
Well, do you have to be 18 or can you be underage with parent permission? I don't know how this works.
I don't know 100% either, because like I said, when we were in Mexico, we were at least 21.
When you're in Mexico, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fucking. You
they're
can
like,
drink at 18 in Mexico.
You're smoking cigarettes at 4, you can get a tattoo,
right. Yeah. You want tuck? Yeah. Fuck, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
You're driving a Volkswagen
I don't
Beetle
know
already.
The current laws in California. It's always, I'm going to go with my understanding as a sad dad, without checking anything, is that you have to be at least 18. Whether or not you can have parental consent, I do not know. And you will make the typey. If Piper had, or Xander had, like an idea that was important to them,
yeah,
I certainly would support it. I pierced my ear in high school without telling my dad. So, these shit happens. I would I'm okay with tattoos. I would just hope that if either kid got something, that it would be meaningful to them, not like fucking a SpongeBob SquarePants, like because they're it was like, okay, the friend gets to pick your tattoo, and they're just flipping through a catalog, and wherever the finger stops, pink, SpongeBob, and please God, don't get that one.
So according to this, it just says that California state law requires you to be 18.
Okay.
And that a violation of this is charged as a misdemeanor. The crime is punishable by custody in the county jail for not more than 6 months and/or a maximum fine of $1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Funny story also is that we were on a bachelor party in Reno.
Yeah.
For an unnamed person, and we were all shit-faced again.
Yeah.
And an unnamed person who I've already mentioned in this podcast in Colfax, let's go get tattoos again. And I was, even at that point, I was like, I don't really have an idea of something that I would want, that I would put. Yeah. But he was like, I'm doing it. And John got a bigger, like a dragon that wrapped all the way up on his shoulder.
Oh, wow.
Also well done, but it was just like a black tribal thing.
Mm-hmm.
So very simple. Wasn't, but the running, for that scenario was that we were so shit-faced that so much alcohol in the system that he was bleeding more than normal because his blood was thin. So that was funny. And that one took fucking hours. He was there hours, and then we just kind of left and went back to a non-named hotel to continue drinking panty droppers in the parking garage.
That's a fun place to drink.
Yeah. Well, at that age and that time, we were keeping panty droppers in like a giant, like a 5-gallon igloo.
Oh my gosh!
Home Depot thing,
like an orange one.
Yeah, like the orange ones, and none of us
play football.
Oh yeah, or had construction hats.
The Gatorade container.
Yeah, the Gatorade container. None of us wanted to risk two-manning this thing through a circus lobby.
Oh, can you imagine?
Or into the hotel.
Hey guys.
Hey, no big deal. Nothing to see here. I mean, the dead body is one thing.
We gotta drink it now.
Yeah. Well, we might as well just pound this shit here.
We can't get it up to the room.
Yeah, we're not getting that out of the expedition, so we might as well just lean over. We forgot cups too, so just
drink it out.
Hold
of the
this
spout.
thing up, and we're gonna press the button, and you just get under it and suck it down the gullet. Yeah. I mean, that may or may not be.
And you have enough, we'll dump it on someone's back.
Yeah. No, shit. God damn, that was expensive even back then. So, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
tattoos.
Yeah, I just, I mean, I appreciate the art involved in them.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a tattoo or considered something that I would be like, yes!
Yeah.
Put that on me.
Yeah.
Or I want that, or some iteration of that. Like, doesn't even.
Yeah. I could see that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just some things that's just not a.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a thing.
But we did have that conversation, so that's funny. That's funny, like kind of same time frame.
Yeah. It's like a cosmic.
Yeah. My daughter was here. For like I mentioned, for spring break.
Yeah.
And that's always interesting. But what the takeaway is, we had to take her back on Tuesday. So she's going back to school to finish. And when I see her next, she'll be all graduated with the
When is
degree.
that? Are you going down?
May.
I presume you're going down for that?
May, yeah, in May sometime. We already have a hotel room booked down there. So we'll drive down, get her graduated, and then move her home. And then it's grad school from there. It's crazy.
Move her home briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For summer. and then it's whatever. She got into 3 schools.
Yeah.
She got
Has
in.
she picked?
I assume, I don't know. I don't know yet. It's all up to her. But
Yeah.
she got into UOP, which
Right.
is the San Francisco one. She got into Pacific University, which is in Oregon, which is that was her first choice school.
Right.
And she also got into San Jose. She got waitlisted and then got into San Jose State already. So those are her 3 options.
Mm.
And then what's funny is our local Sac State just said no.
No thanks.
Yeah. Like you would think, in my opinion, like if you're from the area, you should be given some sort of priority.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is your local school. Your address is in, here. No, it doesn't seem to be. They don't even give a rip. Also, Sac State is very impacted.
Oh.
It's hard to get classes there, so whatever. And then also you're dealing with a commute to get there, and it's not easy to get to.
Right. But would you rather commute or try and resident in a location in which you don't own anything? Right. I mean, well, at least Oregon is out of state, so there's not the
and
California
probably cheaper
issue.
Yeah,
right.
And probably cheaper.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all up to her. She has this vision of what she wants and what's important, or what's gonna. I note that the reason why she likes the school she likes is it's an accelerated program. Instead of 4 years, it's 3 years.
Right.
But they also go year round for 3 years, so it's like even summer.
Right.
So they just kind of hit you hard. So that's important to her. I think UOP was also an accelerated program, but that's in San Francisco, so you're not going to get any kind of cheap rent there.
No.
Yeah.
Nada.
No. So I don't know.
Do you know her rough timelines for that? Like, when does she have to start picking?
I want to say at least 1 or 2 of the schools, it was like April 15th was her.
Oh, wow.
And you have to put a deposit down.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, here we go.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Nuts in the water.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah. So fascinating stuff.
We were just talking, speaking of like housing in California, we were coming back from the gym, might have been last night. And it was a conversation that was triggered off of something that we were talking about in Discord maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago about rent.
Oh, yeah.
In the places where we used to have something and how expensive it is now.
Yeah.
And I was telling Venus, I said, the other day I was thinking about this because, the lotto's getting up, so we buy tickets when it hits a certain thing. I'm like, fucking why not? Can't win if you don't play. Don't play. So we're coming home from the gym last night, and I'm telling her, I was thinking about this. I'm adding this to the list of what are the things that you pretty much are at the top of the list as soon as you know you've won a multi-million-dollar jackpot. And I said, I realized after having that conversation, at the top of the list has to be at least 2 locations that are probably property and house for the kids, because at this point, Piper coming up on 18 and looking to go someplace, and the cost of rent in California, whether it's leasing a home, renting an apartment, leasing an apartment, a condo, or whatever, prices are astronomical.
Yeah.
So and they aren't making any more, well, unless you're Dubai or some shit, or Japan. They're not making any more land, right?
But they're making a lot of houses right now.
Right. So you got to find some place, and then and I'm like, so we have to put that at the top of the list, like finding locations, and then we rent it out until they're ready to own a place, and then when they hit 18 or when they're done with their education, be like, okay, it's yours now. And if you choose, this is it.
Yeah.
If you choose to sell, you get all the money, and we're okay with that. But something tells me once you sell a location here in California, that's it.
Yeah.
Like the game is over. But especially by the time you figure they're going to be ready to own something,
Right.
as young adults or done with their education or go, if you want to go to school in Santa Barbara or something, we're not paying. You'll get the rent of whatever overages that we get from selling. We'll kick that to you, and you can use that to your rent. But if that's where you want to live and that's where you want to be,
we just watched.
These are what you have.
What's
to work with.
the show that there's a show where they take a couple and they try and find them a place, like a place to buy. I forget what the name of the show is.
There's a couple. But I know
there's a couple of those, but they did. It was in Concord, and I was like, "Oh, this will be interesting."
Oh, let's see.
Because Concord is Bay Area now, right? So, and so they had the husband and wife had sort of vastly different views on how much money they should be able to spend, and the wife's view was we should spend no more than $700,000 to $800,000.
Good Lord!
And the husband's like, "Oh, I'm cool up to like between $800,000 and $950,000." Right. And this is the disparity between the two of them.
Yeah.
And they're looking at properties with, I think the real estate agent was like the husband's cousin or something. So she's showing them properties in their, like in their price range, but then also like stretches.
Some outliers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was fascinating, like how much homes are in the Bay Area. It's mind-boggling. Like a regular house that we would here consider to be regular house that probably is in the $550,000 to $600,000 range, which is still insanely expensive.
Yes,
there is $900,000, close to $1 million.
It's so crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
They had. I saw one at the gym, and I was rowing, and Venus was on the elliptical behind me. And obviously, I can't hear anything, but you can read the chirons or chirons or whatever they're called. The pop-ups, and
the closed caption.
Yes, they're in Colorado somewhere.
Yeah.
And I gathered that the couple's price range was in the 700s.
Okay.
700,000s.
Wow. Okay.
Which is still unfathomable to me.
Yeah, it is.
And they're looking at this place that, as far as footprint. And a general idea to give you was somewhere along the lines of Angie and Mike's place. Like 2-story, decent floor plan, decent square footage, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In a community-ish kind of thing.
3-bedroom,
and
2.5 bath.
It was like high 700s, 800,000s, and they're like passing the mic and doing like the awkward interview thing with like the wife, and she's like, I like it. I like the hardwood floors, but I'm not hard on the carpet in some of the places, and the husband was like, this is like way out of my price range for like, we thought Colorado would be more affordable.
Yeah.
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, I would kind of think that too. Like this couple is looking in Colorado.
Yeah.
For a price range of 700,000. Like, it didn't look like they were in Vail or anything, like where I would expect, like, oh, Muffy, kind of shit. Like, oh, we're on the ski slopes. So they're doing this tour, and the realtor pulls open the back door, and there's like Mike and Angie's size backyard, but it's like lawn, a fucking like landing strip of lawn. I've seen porn stars with more foliage kind of thing. It's not the.
We took a hit in the video.
Did we?
Yeah. See?
Oh wow.
Something's up.
That's unhappy.
Let it ride.
Anyway, hey, fuck it.
It's mine.
And there's
yeah.
They pan up from this small amount of lawn.
Yeah.
And they're looking at a cinder block wall and some major freeway just outside of Denver. Like,
oh yeah.
And then they pop up again, like the asking price of the house. And I look back at Venus on the elliptical, and I'm like pointing, like, you fucking see this shit?
Yeah.
Like, ludicrous prices.
That's
like,
insane.
what?
Like, okay, so the show I'm remembering is House Hunters, right?
Yes, it
So-
was probably like a variant of that.
Yeah. So there was another one where they are, they're like looking for, it's like cheap beach houses,
Mhm.
and they have it's like strict budget, right? And so they're like, I want to say Carolina coast somewhere, something
Okay.
like that. And they've got a budget for, they go to the realtor and they're like, these are the things we want. And they're like, all the things that I would want to have in a house, right?
Okay.
And they're looking at coastal property, and they're like, and our budget's $350. And I'm just like, no way, dude.
Yeah, what?
In what fucking planet? Like, are you moving to Saudi Arabia or some shit? Like, what the hell?
How's that happen?
And
Did they find something?
yeah,
No way.
and it's not. Yeah,
It's probably trying to offload
I don't understand.
global
like,
warming,
are
coastal shit.
Are these just like the luckiest people you've ever seen in your life? Or I don't understand. I mean, they have to make compromises. The amount of money they're looking to spend, they're not getting the entire list
Oh yeah,
of stuff they want. Right?
sure.
But they end up typically getting some kind of like property next to the water somehow. And I'm just
That's
like,
nuts.
how is this? You can't do that in California.
No.
If you're even, you can't even get a hotel room for less than $300
Yeah.
near the fucking ocean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's
It's bonkers. It's
Wow.
bonkers. Yeah. So I think it was, it might have been last night. We had that on for a while. House Hunters and House Hunters International, and then
yeah.
forget what the beach property one was. But man, it's mind boggling. When my house is $520,000, my house, right, which
Right.
is small and backs up to a 6-lane road,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
in the middle of Roseville. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Something's out of whack.
yeah, it's crazy. And I feel bad for like our kids.
Right. And that's pretty much what I was saying. I'm like,
yeah.
there's no way. I'm like, she's looking at education the same way Melly has been in,
Yeah.
or Data's has gone out and come back. And, I had to do that too. But the reasoning, the monetary reasoning for having to come back home wasn't because I couldn't make rent. It was just I needed a moment to like save up a little and reset and find someplace in a new location.
Right.
I was never, even with Venus, in a situation where we had to make so much money that everything was going to rent. Now, were we ever overabundance in income? No, we were always
Right.
mining the budget, but it's way different to what it is now. Now it's like you've got to be making so much money that the way it looks on paper is that 90% of whatever you're going to be able to make, especially if you're going to school, is going to rent. Touchy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can keep going.
Is going to rent. I'm like, I don't know anything about that type of situation. That's way outside of what I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I know like, minimum wage has come up, but it's
It's not matching cost of living.
no.
Yeah. It's all, as
No.
we talk about the things of what's happening next for her education, I'm like, yeah, you stay here as long as you need to ride this out, because to throw money at rent at the overexorbitant cost is almost like throwing money down the drain. Like there's no reason. Just stay here, hit the books, knuckle down, and save all the money as her job prospects will start going from the low. Oh my God. The term is fading on me. Like not part-time. She'll start. I'm sure she'll find something that's low part-time into either more part-time or a full-time where she's juggling those. Like you know, Chandler did for a time.
Yeah.
She'll have more hours somewhere. Start squirreling that money away because, a part-time job and trying to find rent, unless you're doing something similar to what Data's did with, you're finding a house, but you've got so many people in it that then it makes it affordable. But then you have all of the social constraints and
they did have all that stuff, but at the same time, it was just an extraordinary deal.
Right.
They had a really decent rent to begin with, so it was affordable for everybody.
Right.
He wasn't making anywhere close to the amount of money he's making now. So, was money tight? Sure. They're young people.
Right. Yeah.
So, this is what is interesting to me is Chandler's on this. He wants to make money, and I get that, but also you got to put the time in, and he doesn't seem to understand time. Your time makes the money eventually. It doesn't just all come to you at once.
Right.
Your time and experience matter in the equation for eventual money making.
Yeah.
So, it's tough though. I think for if Chandler and Nicole wanted to go move out, for instance, they could probably afford it. Would they struggle with money? Probably.
Yeah.
I would imagine probably so. We were just talking about this because the place that we spent $725 a month rent is now renting for $2,200.
God, that's so nuts.
That is nuts. And that's an apartment right down the street here.
Yeah.
So that's and then the second place that we moved to on the other side of town was $900 or $950, and that's now $2,400. That's crazy
for an apartment.
For an apartment,
that's so nuts. It's easy to say.
Wages.
I can't imagine
up.
that, but having paid in some of these places, it's I couldn't tell you what in some of the places I've lived, like Chico, I don't necessarily remember what rent was. But that's also almost out of sight, out of mind, because I don't even live close to Chico anymore. But like you, there are some places I have lived in apartments in Auburn and Roseville. So I have it's right there. I can see the changes and the differences. And while I don't also remember the monetary number of the rent, I can assure you that it's probably not all that far off from yours. It's either at least 2 times, if not 2.5 times more than what I paid.
Yeah.
And it's that area is not 2.5 times better.
No.
So,
and the thing of it is minimum wage hasn't gone up 2.5 times.
Right. So you have that.
Yeah. So if I was able to do it around $7.50 an hour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the rent we were paying, if they're only getting double that, and rents
or
triple
15,
that, or whatever, or that's just that much harder.
Right.
It's so off kilter. It doesn't make a whole lot of logical sense.
Yeah. And you're yet the messaging of get out there and make it on your own, and
right.
I did this, and it's take a second, and it's the way that money goes, it's everything, prices are going to go up, but look at it for a second.
Yeah.
This is hard for young people.
Here's something that I want to bring up because I understand people need to make money. Everything goes up. It's almost like the amount of money people are making is reactionary to the other stuff going up. Why does other stuff go up? You know what I mean? Why does rent keep rising? And then we have to react to make minimum wage, for instance, go up. It doesn't make any sense to me. But one of the things that I see is stuff's already going up in price.
Right.
So then we, as a state or whatever, make the choice to bump up minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, things are already going up in price. Now that you're paying everybody way more money, everything still has to come up in price. So I think I'm just thinking out loud here because I don't know. Is part of the reason why we are paying higher prices for a lot of stuff because of that? Because it seems to have followed the minimum wage rising also. Like things were already coming up, but now they're really coming up because suddenly people are making more money, or because the companies that are employing people that pay that kind of rate are now having to raise their prices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword. You have like, it's like everyone's scratching each other's back, but someone's getting more scratches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now that means that these guys, you know, it's like like I don't understand. I don't understand economics necessarily, but that's my view of it, and I don't know if that's correct or not.
I'm sure there's a
correlation somehow.
Chasing a tail thing that's part of it, and that's probably an oversimplification for sure.
But it's sort of like gas prices, right? I mean, they keep saying, well, gas prices are high because demand is high. Well, okay, well, are house and home and rent prices high because demand is high? I mean,
well, you even have, I mean, the gas thing on its face, the demand is probably part of it because, right, a lot of institutions have started going back to return to office. So yes, now there is, whereas through COVID,
lower production,
lower demand, lots of supply, gas prices where they were or tanked. So you had businesses that lost money because of gas, and then you have people on Wall Street and futures traders that are making money off the digital understanding of what the value of blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But you do have in that equation somewhere supply and demand, right? That's your crux. So then you start coming out of COVID and people start driving more. They start needing more gas. And then you have a war with Russia who does the supply. And so you have these things where it's like, well,
oil producers almost can make their own prices based on how much they make.
If you drill down into the latest, you go back to when we had Mike here. If you drill down into a lot of the mechanics of what currently was going on, it's that, yes, supply is increasing. Is it increasing to the capacity in which a barrel of crude to start producing gasoline is worth or matches what you and I will pay for a gallon of gas? No. Well, what is that? And that is capitalism. That is the people who make the gas essentially going, well, I'm taking an opportunity to leverage some part of the supply and demand mechanics to get mine.
I mean, you just described the housing situation.
Right. You know,
I mean,
at some point.
I mean, they're building new house. Have you been out on Baseline? There are shitloads of new houses going out there. Maybe not as many as we need, right?
Right.
But also, they're building them and selling them for the new prices. It's not like,
right?
You know what I mean?
They're all kinds of. Has material costs
Wood's
gone
way
up?
More expensive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, there's a finite amount of wood. Metals and metal alloys for producing some of the infrastructure parts, are they in short supply because of demand? Absolutely. So there's some cost discrepancies there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I get it. Is it to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars? No. But if the consumer is willing to let that slide move up that far and someone's going to pay it,
they're going to take it.
They're going to take it.
Yeah.
And that's the way the machine works.
It's bizarre. Like, I don't understand how there's that many people that have that kind of money to pay that kind of money for a house.
Yeah.
Like in those price range. I just don't, like, it's mind boggling.
I watch, and here's something more like a microcosm of like an oddball situation of people with money that people don't. There's, have you heard of Bring a Trailer?
Yeah.
So the car auction place.
Yeah.
It is like a 1%er's version of fucking Craigslist.
Oh.
Right?
I haven't actually gone and looked at it.
Fascinating vehicles. Now, these are vehicles like you would have the quality and attention to detail on the product that you're buying Is it more than a Craigslist one? Absolutely. The pictures and the inventory and the reporting and all of the detail and the hand shaking between a seller and a buyer are much better. But the bidding for things that I follow most, like Jeep and Z stuff, so think vintage mid-70s Zs, are astronomical. No one in their right mind should be paying $40,000 for a 1978 CJ.
Right.
There's no reason for it. And this happens on that platform on the daily. 2013 or Jeep Rubicon that's got like 33-inch tires and like a blower on it, $70,000. Like, where are all these people with this kind of and these type of cars are coming up on here like they would on Craigslist all the time. It's like a turnstile of opportunities to buy these cars at what you and I would consider that's like $30,000 more than you should fucking ever consider paying for a car like that.
Yeah.
Is it in really good condition with low mileage? Absolutely. Would I like to buy it? Absolutely. For $15,000?
Yeah.
Not for 34,
right?
And so where are these people with this kind of money?
Shanna just took a picture of it looked like, I think it was a GTI at the Hyundai dealer over off Lead Hill, and it had stickers on the windshield. They always put the price.
Yeah.
$33,000 for a used GTI at the Hyundai dealer.
Right. Shit.
$33,000.
And I know with cars, and someone's probably going to say, with cars lately, the chip shortage and blah, 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 the new cars. And Mike obviously knows. If you've tried to buy anything new lately, we've talked about at length with Broncos and other Ford products, I'm sure. Chip shortage, new car shortage, during COVID, getting new cars, automotive shortages, used car prices went through the fucking roof. I can't remember if I told you. I was talking with Ian, and he was nearing the end of his lease on his Subaru Outback. And he was like, I owe roughly $16K on it. He's like, and I was thinking, well, I'd just buy it out and the payments and it'd work out. Or I was seeing whether or not I would just go and trade it in and get whatever their new hotness is that's got like a super awesome trim on it. And what would be the difference? Like, I don't know. I mean, I had one rear end that was fixed in this, and it's got dog hair all over it, and let's just see what they would give me. He took it to a dealer, and they're like, we don't have any of these new hotnesses on deck anyway because we can't get them. So come back later. Do you want something else? And he's like, nah, fuck it. And he kind of walked away from it. The dealer called him back, and he said, we're going to get 3 units of the new hotness.
Okay.
In April. And he said 2 were spoken for, and 1 was close in it wasn't like his color or something, but it was at least the trim model that he was looking for.
Okay.
He's like, you want to come down and talk more numbers again? And Ian's like, fuck, okay. They're going to give him, he owns 16. They're going to give him 23 for his trade-in, and the payments for him will eventually just work out the same as if he were to buy out the lease for like a 3-year loan on the 16. The payments would be the same as a 5-year on his new thing with his trade-in on the new hotness.
Wow.
And he's like, fuck it. So yeah, sign at the line.
Yeah.
And he gets towards the end of the transaction, and he's like, listen, I got to be honest with you. I feel like I'm
taking you for a
ride.
ride.
He's like, I only owe 16, and you're going to give me 23. And he's like, yeah, we'll take this, clean it, and
we'll
spit
put it
polish.
up
We'll put it on the lot for 29. He's like, I bought it new for 30. He's like, yeah, people will pay. People will pay it. We'll get 29 for this easy without blinking. And
wow,
like.
That's crazy.
Absolutely mind-boggling. I was like, again,
it can't last.
Where are these people? I can't.
Yeah.
I'm a sad dad.
I think they're just. It's at that point, it's people desperate for a car.
It could be.
And then I'm like thinking the lucky stars that Melly bought her car when she bought her car.
Yeah, she's probably the last of being able to take that opportunity.
I think that what she paid was about fair, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit higher than I would have wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
But that was her choice. But probably that car now would be close to 20, I would think.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's the numbers are nuts, and like you said, we've loosely touched on what makes it. You're often detractors of like minimum wage isn't keeping pace with the cost of living. A lot of the supply and demand capitalistic dynamics fluctuate. So it's like, well, yeah, if we could raise the minimum wage and everything else goes with it, but then when supply kicks in or we find a new product, well, then some of those prices would come down, but we've raised everything else. Like I get it. If you're like listening right now and you're like, yeah, but you're over, I get it. Like there's no simple answer to it, and the mechanics are super complex.
Yes.
But you can see how if the bulk of the population is having struggles with cost of living, and the gap solution is credit leverage, the monetary system is busted.
Right.
And we're trying to polish the turd by saying, yeah, but capitalism and it's the American dream. I don't know.
What happens in states like Texas where their minimum wage for like restaurant workers is like $3.50 or whatever?
Credit leverage. I don't know. I don't have an answer. Like, I don't think everything is just cheaper in Texas. I think.
Oh, it's not.
Right. You just have to accept that. Oh, well, I just swipe it on plastic, or I turn my 3-year car loan or 4-year car loan into a 7. My 30-year home loan is now a 45. And now my payments, and all people see is the payment. But we've just moved the goalposts to make it more palatable, because trying to solve the problem is super hard. Super hard.
Man, there's so many factors at play, and the fact that like our economy is really tied now so much global stuff.
Yeah.
It's not, when you talk about the U.S. economy, it's not just talking about the U.S. economy.
No.
And
I think COVID is
proven that for sure.
I would like to think that everyone has this like slap in the face at this point, that to think nationalism is how the markets work anymore is tunnel vision, myopic.
Well,
like,
that was the thing when Magnavox had a plant down the street, and they employed 1,500 people to make televisions and radios. We don't have that anymore. The U.S. doesn't do that anymore. Yeah. All that shit's farmed out to China or Vietnam or Thailand or whatever. We don't do that stuff here. People won't do that kind of work here.
Yeah.
For that kind of money.
Yeah.
And that's why we went to China, to save money.
Right. Well, I mean, we're at time.
It's tough.
These are hard.
Yeah.
And I would not say that I don't necessarily have answers either. Yeah. But there are some serious questions that give me pause. It's like, how do you try and foster prosperity when it seems like the economy is working against a huge portion of the society as a whole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And politicians just want to talk out their asshole.
Well, and
on both sides.
You see it every day driving down the street at all the homeless camps that are everywhere. Just people can't afford to fucking live.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most obvious answer right there.
It is. Right.
When you see how bad that is everywhere, it's sad. I don't know.
And we just run into the God damn it. I can't get into it.
Yeah.
Remind me next week. I'll write it down somewhere. We'll talk about the $400 tax credit for gasoline that the governor wants to find.
I want some money.
We'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
Man, I went into my dad about that idea, and we can't get there. We'll get there next week.
All right.
Anyway.
All right.
I hope you're having a okay week. Fuck. Man.
Hey, 20,000 downloads.
I feel like, 20. I'm like going 70, and we gotta hit the off ramp.
You are just plowing on the ABS right now.
I gotta hit the track mode and fucking beam this shit into the walls. Man.
All right.
Well, return the card.
Wear the mask.
Wash your hands.
Wash your ass.
Get the shot. Check your oil.
Tony, and do the kindness.
And we'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, bye.